Graad 8, ons is nog steeds besig met die breuke tema. We're still busy with topic 13, which is all about fractions. En binne in die breuke kom 'n persentasie, want 'n persentasie is nog steeds 'n breuk. Percentages are still fractions. So the questions here was about if something is increased by a percentage or decreased by a percentage, you still have to work out the percentage. As ietsie 80 rand, 80 appels, 80 mense met 30% verhoog word, wat gaan die antwoord wees? If anything, 80 people, 80 rand, 80 apples, 80 cars is increased by 30%, how much will it be? So die eerste wat jy gaan doen is, you're going to work out 30% of 80. Dis jou hele storie. Hierdie is die verhoging. This is the increase. Hierdie is die verhoging. Dis die 30% van daai 80. En dit gee vir my, want ek weet my sakrekenaar die was nie gesit waarop jy kan kry nie, so. Okay, so that would be 24. Wat is dit? 24 is only the increase. 24 is net dit waarmee hy verhoog moet word. So wat is die nuwe amount, new whatever, die nuwe aantal karre, die nuwe aantal geld, the new amount of people, the new amount of whatever. 80 has now become 80 plus 24. So as 80 met 30% verhoog word, dan is die nuwe antwoord 104. If 80 is increased by 30%, the new answer is now 104. The new what I don't know, because it was 80 that is increased by something, 80 whatever. So if it was 80 cars, it would now be 104 cars. As dit 80 mense was, wat met 30% verhoog word, dan gaan dan 104 mense wees. But the thing about percentages, persentasie is 330 over 100. That's the thing I'm checking for. So presies dieselfde storie. So hier's weer 'n increase, there's again an increase, verhoging. En die verhoging is dan weer 62,5 op 100. Remember that one that I did without putting it over 100, and the sum doesn't want to work out? 62,5 over 100 of van 160. And you can do that on your calculator as it is. Now, if you do want to first go write that as an improper fraction, it's going to be 125 over 2 over 100, which will then be at 125 over 200 times 160. Maar dis nie nodig nie. The main thing we're testing here is if you know a percentage. Percentage is that amount over 100. Dis wat ons hierso doen. So there was a lot of ways of doing it without the calculator, of which this was then one. Maar jy kon maar net na jou sakrekenaar toe gegaan het en gaan sê doen vir my daai antwoord van 125 divided by 200 times 160. Gee vir my antwoord van 20. So this is the answer is 20. Nou wat se antwoord is hierdie? What is this 20? That is just your increase. Dis waarmee hy verhoog gaan word. As ek sê 62% 'n verhoging wil hê. 126, let me just check that. 162 divided by 100 and times with 160 gives me, oh no, I did it wrong somewhere. Let me put you into this space why I knew that couldn't be right. Hoekom het hier gebeur is nie reg. Ek het mos die knoppies gedruk. So something I must have done wrong. When I did it again, this answer is 100. Now, if I say that this must increase with more than half, if it increases with half of what that was, it would have already been 80. Now it's more than half and I only got 20. Ek probeer vir jou logika reguleer, dat as jy die sommetjie klaar gedoen het, dat jy kan besef, maar Jesus, dit kan nie reg wees nie. Something's wrong with my calculation if I think of logically. So if 62% of that should be more than half of that. Half of that, if it was 50%, would have been 80. But I got an answer of 20. That's how I knew something was not right. So I did it again. So I did this 62.5 divided by 100 and times by 160 and I got 100. Dit klink vir my meer reg. This feels more right, feels more logical. So wat is dan die nuwe bedrag of die new answer? would then be the 160 that there was plus the increase, which gives me 260. So if I increase 160 people by 62.5%, there should be 260 people. As 160 appels was wat een meerderheid met zoveel procent, dan was daar nou 260 appels. Okay, again, so it's 245 that is increased with 120%. Now 120% is 120 over 100. First of all, you can't get 120% for maths. You can get 100 if you work very hard, but 120% means that you're going to have more than double. If you increase by 100%, it means that whatever it was will be double. But 120 will be more than double what it was. So it's 120 van the 245, which is again over 100. And this is the increase. Hier is nou weer die verhoging wat ek gaan uitwerk. So ek sit met I put this on the calculator and press it in. The answer gives me 294. So is the new answer 294? Is die nuwe antwoord 294? Nee. Dis net die verhoging. And the increase has to be more than what it was. Let me just double check this. Times with 245 gives me 294. So that's the increase. So the increase should be more than double. If it was 100%, it would have been 245. A little bit more because it's more than double. So your new price or your new amount, and I'm writing you the same thing in Afrikaans and in English, your nieuwe antwoord sal dan wees die 245 wat het was, plus the increase of 294, which gives me an answer of 530. Now, so if I increased whatever by 120%, then the answer will be 500 and something. It's more than double what it was. The increase was more than what it used to be. Okay, 2.3 and 2.4 was a little bit different. It's still percentage of something, but then I have to decrease it. Dis weer 'n keer 'n persentasie van ietsie, maar nou moet dit verlaag. So in die eerste plek, as ek R120 of 120 mense wil verlaag met 33%, ek eers uitkyk wat 33% daarvan, 33 First thing, before I reduce it, I'm first going to work out what the 33 and 30% each. So the decreasing, die verlaging, gaan wees, as ek sê 33% uit 100, van die 120. Again, percentage is out of 100 of the amount that you want to get the percentage of. En dan vat ek weer my sakrekenaar en ek werk uit as 33% daarvan, so dit geef my 40. So this could be 40 people, 40 rands, 40 whatever, but that's the decrease. Dis net die verlaging, the decrease. So what is the new amount? Will now not be 120, but 120 decreased by 40, which will give me 18. Dan die vraag het gesê verlaag hom met 33%. The question could just as well have been increased by 33%. Dan was hierdie stukkie presies dieselfde. This would have been the same if I said increase it by 33%. So I work out 33% and I add it. If I said decrease, I work out 33% and I subtract it. Laaste vraag is weer 'n keer, dis 93%. So the 93% of the 360, that would be the amount that I want to decrease, waarmee ek wil verlaag. Dan werk ek met my sakrekenaar uit. And I work out that this answer, and this is a fraction, is going to be 334,80. Mag dit so wees? May I have a fraction? Because the answer actually was 1674 over 5. Dis eintlik 1674 op 5, wat vir my daai komma antwoord gaan gee. I get it by using the decimal, and then that gives me the comma 8, or just comma 80, if you want. Maar wat gaan dan die nuwe bedrag wees? The new amount of people, the new amount of rands, the new amount of apples, whatever it was, the 360, whatever that I want to decrease. Dan vat ek daai 360 en ek trek af daarvan daai komma 8. So as ek dit van mekaar gaan aftrek, dan kry ek Weer ek die breek 25,2 as ek dit van mekaar gaan aftrek. So you can have decimal answers. It won't be amount of people because then what amount of people is that? It would be something like kilograms or whatever that you can have a comma of. Goed, kom ons doen die nuwe werk vandag. We're finishing up with topic 13. Ons maak klaar met tema 13 met die breuke. So ons wil baie graag 'n bietjie woordsommetjie doen. En ek weet jy hou nie van woordsomme nie. Ek weet mense kinders hou nie van woordsomme nie. Most people don't like the word problems. They think it's very extremely difficult, but that's exactly, you always want to know where is math applied. This is where math is applied. So the first example I want to show you is the exercise 13.18, which you can go and read. Then is number 3 that says, there's a little town en in hierdie klein dorpie is daar aantal mans en vrouens en kinders. In a certain town there are these amount of men, women and children. And then I want to know, what percentage of the town is men? Watse persentasie van die dorp is mans? So dis presies wat ons gedoen het. Jy moet nog steeds weet hoe werk die persentasie uit. So the percentage of men is, die persentasie mans is die 4000 uit die moontlike totaal. What was the total amount in the whole city or town? That it was 4,000 and 3,000 and 5,500 gives me 12,500. So you had to add up first of all that the whole town had a total of 12,500. So the percentage of the men is 4,000 out of the total. But that's not in percentage until I say times 100. Then I will get my answer in percentage. So dieselfde sommetjies as wat jy nog heeltyd gedoen het, is nou net 'n bietjie met bewoording. Maar belangrik is dat jy sal weet, soos vir 'n toets, wat jou persentasie vir jou toets, dis sê nou jy 10 uit 12 gekry, 10 out of 12 for a test, how would you get that to percentage? You time it with 100. So met ander woorde, hierdie vraag se antwoord gaan wees 32% of the town is for men, 32%. The same question for the women. So wat is die persentasie vrouens wat daar is? Percentage of the women would then be there's 3,000 out of the total amount of 12,500. To get it to percentage, you're again going to have to say time by 100. So you're going to have 24%. That was women. And then exactly the same for the kids. Or you can be clever and do it in a different way. Because there are only men and women and kids. They're not talking about dogs and cattle and whatever. There can only be, of the whole piece of the pie, the whole fraction must add up to 100%. So what do I short for the kids? The kids will be 100 minus the 32% of the men, minus the 24% of the women, and that will give you a total amount of 44%. Now that is if you use your logic to get to the answer. If you wanted to do it this way that you did the men and the women, the percentage kids would have been 5,500 out of, again, the 12,500 times with 100, you'd still get to 44. Think about my logic. I'm saying there's the whole town. So if the men is 32% and the woman is 24%, oopsie, now I'm not showing it correctly. Let's make it like that. 24%, then this should be 44%. So if you add them all up together, 32 and 24 and 44, that should give you 100%. Because there's 100% town. Everybody that lives there makes it up to 100%. That's how I got to there. And you can write it on different ways. Jy hoef dit nog nie presies soos my manier te skryf nie. Goed. One last example before I give you homework on the word problems. And again, I'm not focusing too much on the word problems. For this year, especially, we're not going to focus too much on that. We want to work with, can you do the actual calculations, but you have to be able to also understand a word problem. So in die woordprobleem sê ek vir jou, die jeans se koste het van 450 na 300 rand afgeneem. Wat is die persentasie afname? I'm asking if jeans prices goes down from 450 to 300 rand, what is the percentage decrease? So onmiddellik, jy gaan niks punte vir die som kry as jy nie onthou wat ek 2 lesse terug vir jou gesê het nie. Whenever I ask you for a percentage change, as ek ooit vra vir die persentasie verandering, is hierdie 'n persentasie verandering? Yes, it's a percentage decrease, a percentage increase, a percentage growth, a percentage, something that's changed. It's always going to be the change, die verandering, op die oorspronklike, on the original, times 100, and then your answer will be in percent, because it's a percentage change. Now, if you missed it, you got nothing for this question, because you didn't realize it's that specific question. This is a recipe sum. If you get asked this question and you don't know this formula, you can't get the marks. So wat 'n persentasie verandering was daar gewees? Goed. So eerstens, wat is die verandering van 450 na 300? What is the change from 450 to 300? There's a 150 rand difference. So dis wat die verandering is. The change is 150. But then the original was 450. It cost originally 450, not 300. Oopsie, 450. That was the original. Still times with 100%. And then when you take your calculator and do that, I think it's 33.3%. 33.3%, because the calculator gives you 33,333, or if you write it as a fraction, 10 out of 3. 10 out of 3, it's still 33.3%. That's your percentage that this has gone down with. So now gaan ek jou huiswerk gee and try your best. I'm only giving you 4 sums. They're not all the same. Some of them are like this. Some of them are like the previous ones, straightforward, working out a percentage and subtracting or adding it. Lees bietjie mooi. This is more of a challenge for you, a little bit more difficult, because we're ending off with theme 13. Ons maak klaar met tema 13. Goed.